very interesting topic. But there's all kinds of scientific ways also. Not only does the Scripture teach the earth is 6,000 years old, and that's a clear line in the sand for me, the scientific evidence teaches the earth is not billions of years old. We're going to look at some of the limiting factors now for the age of the earth based on the scientific evidence. In 1999, they announced in the newspaper, last weekend the world's population topped the 6 billion mark. In 1985, there were 5 billion people on planet Earth. In 1800, there were 1 billion people here. Just about everybody agrees, around the turn of 1800th century, there were about 1 billion people on planet Earth. There's just not much argument about this.
You know what's funny, Kent? You have no idea what exponential growth is. Here's an example. If I took a cell, and remember, cells are asexual, so they don't reproduce with another part of their own species, they multiply. Okay? So, here's the thing. This thing multiplies twice, so then now there are 3 because it just multiplied. There are 3 now. I had 2. Okay? Then each of those has 2. Then each of those has 2. Then each of those has 2. Basically, it goes like that. Basically, it doubles each generation. That's just a real basic thing. So here's how it goes. Usually, it starts out real slow, goes up tiny, tiny, tiny bit, and then shoots up. Just skyrockets.
Could fit inside the city limits of Jacksonville, Florida, where we are. This city where you guys live has 25 billion square feet. You could fit everybody in the world in here twice.
No, Kent, you can't fit 7 billion people in Jacksonville, Florida. It is literally impossible to do that, okay? It's not possible. They're going to suffocate, basically.
So it's pretty well established that the population was about 250 million at the time of Christ, and it's now 6 billion. And if you plot the numbers on a graph, you can see it points clearly to the entire population starting about 4,400 years ago, when 8 people got off of Noah's Ark.
When 8 people got off of Noah's Ark? If you don't know this, Kent, there is a line at which something is said if it's endangered or not. If there are less than 500 of that species, the species is endangered because it can't reproduce. Well, I mean, it still can, but after a couple of generations, if you have this 500, there's going to be, and that's not a lot, okay? There's going to be a lot of inbreeding, okay? And there's a shitload of genetic mutations, and everything's going to be fucked up. So, if there were 8 people, they'd die out in 3 generations.
So if you start with 8 people having kids and grandkids and great-grandkids, you can get a population of 5 or 6 billion in a few thousand years. So if you believe in evolution, you got a serious problem. Because you think man's been here for 3 million years.
What you just said there was the dumbest statement I've ever heard anyone make. See, that's the thing, Kent. You say that evolutionists think that man arrived on the scene about 3 million years ago. That is about 2,987,000 years off. We arrived here about 13,000 years ago. You have no knowledge of anything.
Stars blow up about every 25 to 30 years. If it's a little one, they call it a nova. If it's a big one, they call it a supernova, okay? But about every 25 or 30 years, a star explodes. Well, they search the heavens with the Hubble telescope, and they can not even find 300 supernova rings. Question, if the universe is billions of years old, why aren't there billions of supernova rings? Why less than 300? Which would mean less than 10,000 years.
See, that's the thing, Kent. You also don't understand the size of the universe, okay? Let me put it in simpler terms. Let's take the actual size of Earth and the actual size of this plate, okay? This plate is about how much we know about the universe. Then the actual Earth is how much there is to know, even more. Because we don't know how big the universe is. We don't know what percentage we know. But we know that we have not discovered it all. We know that. We go farther every day. Not by much, but we go farther every day. That's something that you have a hard time understanding. That's just an average from what we've observed. Okay? From in our known universe.